Okay guys, so as promised, I will be going over all of the stuff in the community forums because, I figured I'd do a little bonus episode. There's a lot of background information and story stuff that actually comes through all of the community forums and whatnot, so let's dive right into that stuff. Existence of PK system. I'm going to talk a bit about PKs. PK system was around since the days of Fragment, and until it was abolished in the middle days of the World.1. It was a system that made the world really unique. When the PKs were abolished, the players held protests at each of the root towns, and fan sites demanded that PKs be brought back. Now, for the World.2. The PK system has been brought back. It has its pros and cons, but the players generally welcomed it when it first started. But lately, there have been a growing number of people who call for it to be abolished again. In the outside world too, people are talking a lot about whether it's morally correct to have a game where people kill each other. So, considering all these things, I have a question. Does the world really need PKs? Please give me your detailed answers. Thank you. Caution. The purpose of this thread is not to criticize PKing. Please don't flame or troll. Thank you. Agree as a system. I think the world definitely needs PKs, though I personally hate PKing. In network games with no PKing, you have no choice but to accept getting cheated or get swindled by other players. But in the world, there's the PK system. If you use your brain, you can use the PK system to protect yourself. So just from a self-defense point of view, the PK system is necessary. That's basically my opinion. Disagree. I'm against the current PK system. I won't say that the system itself is bad. However, I can't agree with a system that blames the victims and says that if you don't want to get PK'd, you should do the PKing first. For example, they could make some servers where PKing is allowed, and others where it's forbidden. Or make it so you can turn PKing on or off. If it's off, you can't PK someone and you can't be PK'd either. I wish CC Corp would think of a way to separate the people that want it and the people that don't want it. Only a game. I personally think either way is fine. Even if you do get PK'd, it's not that big of a deal, as it's within the game. So maybe you'll lose some experience and the time you spent to get those points. At worst, you may lose some items too. That's all. So do you really have to talk about who got PK'd and who did the PKing? Naturally, if your dear character is PK'd, it's going to upset you. But it's just a game, right? I'm not saying you should enjoy getting PK'd, but maybe just take it a little bit more lightly. It's not an issue of is it necessary or not, is it? That's part of the game. The real winners are the ones that have fun. My 2 cents. I'm all for the PK system. I started playing the world because it had a PK system, which is something that I wanted to experience, although my fear of retaliation prevents me from PKing anyone. For someone who wants to play a game with a PK system, such as myself, it is absolutely necessary to have one. But to be honest, I don't really care if the world has it or not. I'll go to whatever game that has the best PK system. Lastly, I want to add a personal comment. To all you people who say that you hate PKing but still play the world, which is a game whose main selling point is the PK system, I just want to say, go play another game. I'm begging you. I disagree. I want to talk about the World R2. It's a mistake to have the PK system apply to the entire game. They say that the arena was created to calm down the whole PK controversy, but I think it's done the opposite. I think they should have made it so the PK system applied only to the arena and left the rest of the game PK free. People who don't want to get involved in PK can stay away from the arena. And the people who do want to PK, go to the arena. That way both types of people would have been happy. It's the same thing for the trouble between the guilds. Instead of killing each other in areas wherever there's a dispute, whenever there's a dispute, it would be way better if they could just solve it fairly in the arena. That's the way it should have been handled. I think the current PK problem was born from the fact that the world is borderless. But it's not too late to fix things, so I think they should consider a reworking of the entire system. So I guess I have to say I'm against the current PK system. Where can I get an ohm shell? So we already read this one, but we'll read it one more time. I'm looking for an ohm shell. I just started, so I don't have much money, and I'm hoping to get one from some monsters and treasure chests. Where can I find one? Someone tell me. Must be tough just getting started. Let me think. Go to the area below with and break the barrels. I think you'll find some. Delta Buzzing Wrath Sputtle. Though you don't have money, be brave and you'll do fine. Good luck! I heard a weird thing from a friend of mine. Is it really true that the world was created based on the epic poem Epitaph of Twilight? Also, if this is true, what is that on the official page? Does anyone here know anything about this? Reply. The world was created based on an epic poem, Epitaph of Twilight? I believe this is true. CC Corp won't officially admit it though. Also, if this is true, what is that on the official page? Well, that's the Epitaph of Twilight, right? That's the Epitaph of Twilight, right? Reply. I heard the Epitaph of Twilight was a fantasy-style story about a search for a dragon. But the main background story for the world is just about a bunch of guys fighting each other. I don't think that can be right. Reply 3. The previous version, the World R1, was most definitely based around the poem, Epitaph of Twilight. It is said that the words written on the altar in the whole Grand's Cathedral are proof of that. With regards to the World R2, the two event planners structured the game from scratch while incorporating the atmosphere of the World R1 as much as possible. Where's the link? So with regards to World R2, the two event planners structured the game from scratch while incorporating the atmosphere of World R1 as much as possible. Excuse me, but could you tell me your source? Reply. CC Corporation's e-zine. So this is how I think it is. Fragment. Based on the Epitaph of Twilight. The World R1, based on the Epitaph of Twilight. The World R2, CC Corp's original scenario, partly based on the previous game. Huh? That e-zine has insider info from the designers? I figured it would just be mindless advertising. Damn, I underestimated them. Did you need to be a gold member of the CC Corp official fan club to be able to receive the e-zine? Exactly. But you need to have $30 cash in your cyber wallet, so think carefully before you register. Wasn't there a guild that was collecting the Epitaph of Twilight and the Twilight Keys? I wonder if that guild is still active. I don't hear anything about them anymore. Is it messed up? This is starting to look more and more like a bad rumor board. Wasn't there a guild that was collecting the Epitaph of Twilight and the Twilight Keys? That was the Twilight Brigade. Now that you mention it, I haven't heard a thing about them lately either. He used to be so active too. I wonder what happened. Maybe they broke up. The Twilight Brigade. The guild itself is no longer around. It seems they just fell apart when their leader disappeared. But I heard the leader recently returned to the world. I guess the former members of that guild are starting to get active again too. Is it messed up? Reply. I mistakenly used a rare serrated edge nickel coin I bought at an auction to buy a rice ball. Good evening. This is Omega Rice. I heard the leader recently returned to the world. Wow, really? I wonder if the rumor board is going to get busy again. If it gets to be what it used to be like, I'll be posting there too. Bring on the Twilight Brigade. Reply 3. Sorry for the noob-like question, but what exactly is the Epitaph of Twilight and the Twilight Key business? Leave it to me. Well, please forgive my presumptuousness, but let me try to explain. The Epitaph of Twilight. This is an epic poem that was posted on the internet for free. People say that the world of the World R1 is based on it, but CC Corporation denies it. The person who wrote the poem is dead now, and you can no longer see the website where it was originally posted. The poem itself has been scattered as well. Twilight Key? This is a legendary item that is said to grant the wishes of whoever is lucky enough to find it. Lots of players have been looking for it ever since the days of Fragment. Despite the fact that an extremely large number of people are looking for it, there are no reports of anyone having seen it. Lately, most people have started to think that it might just be another urban legend since the information is so vague. I hope the above explanation has been useful. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must be going. So the Twilight Brigade is a guild that is dedicated to finding something that doesn't exist? That sounds kind of romantic. Loving new things is part of human nature, but so is loving old things. I want to go into the area again with a character that I put my spirit into making. I want to play with my dear companion. The images of the drenched CC Corp headquarters on the news, toasted servers, standing there with despair. The diligent petitions were not answered as CC Corp announced the resignation of the R1 restoration. However, listen to this! Even so, the old warm-hearted me still wants to go back. No, I'm actually still warm-hearted. I hope CC Corp guys, especially the executives, hear my cries, and I hope they bring back our dear old world. Reply. I just want them to bring back R1 too. It's not that I hate R2, it's just that I have more memories with R1. Damn it! Who started that fire anyway? So? Was R1 really that great? Isn't everyone exaggerating a bit? Graphically, R2 is way, way better. The game system is better too. I still think R2 wins hands down. I hope R2 really takes off. I admit that's true, but how do I put it? That doesn't matter. It's just not the same as R1. We want our old R1 back. I started playing from R2, so I just don't understand why everyone makes such a big deal about R1. So here's my question. If R1 was brought back, or remade, or whatever, what would y'all do? I'll play them both. The reason is that I don't want to lose the characters I've built up in R2, but I also want to play R1. Pretty hard. That's a tough question. I guess I'd like to play both, but I don't have much money. I'm not clever enough to play both at the same time, so I guess I'd just wind up playing R2. Basically, I'll keep playing R2, just like Applestar. I can't see myself playing both. But if our old character data is restored, I might just quit R2 and play R1 instead. So that's it for the World Community Forum. I think I'll cover the other ones as well, but this is kind of running long, so what I might do is I might just do it in the next bonus episode. I'll see you there.